Hello students, let us discuss the numericals of exercise. Question 3.5. Write the Nernst equation and EMF of the following cells at 298 Kelvin temperature. First is Mg slash Mg2 plus, then salt bridge, copper 2 plus slash copper. So we have to find two things. First is Nernst equation and second is EMF of the cell. So in case of first one, first of all let us find out E naught cell. E naught cell equal to reduction potential, standard reduction potential of cathode, where cathode is copper, so we'll write Cu2 plus slash Cu minus reduction potential of magnesium, so we'll write E naught of Mg2 plus slash Mg, that is equal to, now for copper and magnesium the values of reduction potential are, so from the table of E naught cell the value of reduction potential of copper is 0.34 and E naught of magnesium, reduction potential of magnesium is minus 2.37. So that will be equal to 0.34 plus 2.37. So that will be equal to 2.71 volt. Now we have to find out E cell from the Nernst equation. So E cell equal to E naught cell minus 0.059 upon n log of concentration of ion at anode upon concentration of ion at cathode. Now first of all we have to write down the balanced equation. Balanced equation will be Mg plus Cu2 plus gives Mg2 plus Cu. So from this balanced equation the concentration of ion on the right hand side is Mg2 plus, so that is written in the numerator, and the coefficient of Mg2 plus is 1, so we'll write Mg2 plus raised to 1 divided by concentration of ion on the left hand side. On the left hand side we are having Cu2 plus ion, so in the square bracket concentration is written square bracket Cu2 plus, and the coefficient of Cu2 plus is again 1, so concentration of Mg2 plus upon concentration of Cu2 plus, so that is equal to, now E naught cell is 2.71, so instead of E naught cell we will write 2.71 minus 0.059. Now in the denominator n is the number of electrons gained or lost. So from balanced equation we will see that on both the side the charge is 2 plus, so that means the number of electron gained or lost is 2. So in the denominator n will be equal to 2. Now log of concentration of Mg2 plus. So we will see that the concentration of Mg2 plus in the question is 0.001. So that can be written as 10 raised to minus 3 divided by concentration of Cu2 plus. So in the question it is 0.0001. So that can be written as 10 raised to minus 4. So that is equal to 2.71 minus, now 0.059 upon 2 is 0.0295 log of 10 raised to minus 3 divided by 10 raised to minus 4. So it will become 10 raised to minus 3 plus 4. So that is log 10. So that is equal to 2.71 minus 0.0295 and log 10 is 1. So it will remain 0.0295 only. So when you subtract the two, you will get 10 minus 5, 5, 9 minus 9, 0, 9 minus 2, 9 minus 5, 9 minus 9, 0, then 10 minus 2, 8, and 6 minus 0, 6. So 2.6805, which can be approximately taken as 2.68. So our E cell potential is 2.68 volt. So this is our answer. Now the second question is Fe/Fe2 plus salt bridge H plus slash H2 slash platinum. So for second one we have to find out Nernst equation and EMF of the cell. So same method we have to use. First of all we have to find out E naught cell. So E naught cell equal to reduction potential, standard reduction potential of cathode. So cathode is hydrogen half cell, so H plus slash H2 minus standard reduction potential of anode. So it is E naught of Fe2 plus slash Fe. So always in reduction potential first cation is written, then neutral atom is written. Now for hydrogen it is 0 and reduction potential of iron is minus 0.44. So that is equal to, now minus minus will be plus, so we'll get 0.44 volt. Now let us write down the balanced equation. So balanced equation, Fe undergo oxidation to form Fe2 plus and H plus ion undergo reduction to form H2. So in order to balance the hydrogen, on the left hand side we have to write 2H plus. So Fe plus 2H plus gives Fe2 plus H2. So what will be E cell? E cell equal to E naught cell minus 0.059 upon n log of concentration on right hand side upon concentration on left hand side. So here we will see that only one cation is there, Fe2 plus. On the right hand side, so we will write Fe2 plus, and in front of Fe2 plus coefficient is 1, so raised to 1. Now we will see that another substance on the right hand side is hydrogen, but we have to see that for a neutral atom or molecule the concentration is taken as 1. Okay, so here H2 is not written. On the left hand side we are having Fe and H plus, but cation is only H plus, so we have to write in the denominator concentration of H plus, and the coefficient of H plus is 2, so we will write 2 in the power. So that is equal to, now E naught cell is 0.44, which we have found just now, minus 0.059 upon n, that is number of electrons gained or lost. So we can see from the balanced equation that on both the sides charge is 2 plus, that means number of electrons gained or lost is 2, log of concentration of Fe2 plus, so that is 0.001, so that can be written as 10 raised to minus 3 upon concentration of H plus is 1 molar, so we have to write 1 raised to 2, so that is equal to 0.44 minus 0.059 upon 2 is 0.0295. Now log 10 raised to minus 3, we can take minus 3 in front, so we are remaining with log 10. So that is equal to 0.44. Now minus minus will become plus 0.0295 into 3, so it will become 0.0885, and log 10 is 1. So that is equal to, now you have to add the 2, so we will get 0.5285. So that is approximately equal to 0.53 volt. So this is our answer, 0.53 volt. Now number 3 is Sn slash Sn2 plus salt bridge H plus slash H2 platinum. Now here if we find out E naught cell, so that is equal to reduction potential of cathode H plus slash H2 minus reduction potential of anode, so E naught of Sn2 plus slash Sn, that is equal to, for hydrogen it is 0 minus reduction potential of steam is minus 0.14, so that is equal to minus minus plus, so it will become 0.14 volt. Now balanced equation will be Sn plus 2H plus gives SN2 plus H2. Now E cell equal to E naught cell minus 0.059 upon n log of concentration of ion on the right hand side. So that is square bracket Sn2 plus raised to 1 upon concentration of ion on the left hand side. So that is concentration of H plus raised to 2. Now E naught cell is 0.14 minus 0.059. Now upon n is the number of electron gain or lost. So on both the side charge is 2 plus. Electron gain or lost is 2 log of concentration of Sn2 plus. So that is 0.050. Now we can remove the last 0. So we will get 0.05. So that can be written as 5 into 10 raised to minus 2. And on the right hand side we are having concentration of H plus ion. Here also last 0 can be dropped. So we are having 0.02. That can be written as 2 into 10 raised to minus 2. And in the power we are having 2. So that is equal to 0.14 minus 0.0295 log of 5 upon square of 2 is 4 into 10 raised to minus 2 into 2 is minus 4. When it goes in the numerator it becomes 10 raised to plus 4, and 10 raised to plus 4 and 10 raised to minus 2 will be 10 raised to 2. So that is equal to 0.14 minus 0.0295. Now this will become log of 5 into 10 raised to 2 is 500. 500 upon 4. So it will become 125. So that is equal to 0.14 minus 0.0295, and log of 125 is 2.0969. So it is 2.0969. That is equal to 0.14 minus, now 0.0295 into 2.0969 is 0.0, so it is 0.06186. So when you subtract the two, you will get 0.0 0.07814 volt. So this is our answer, 0.07814 volt. Now question, fourth part of the same question is platinum, bromine, bromide ion, solid bridge H plus slash H2 slash platinum. Now here E naught cell will be equal to E naught reduction potential of cathode. So that will be H plus slash H2 minus reduction potential of anode. Now here you will see that during reduction bromine is converted into bromide ion. That's why first of all we will write Br2 and then we will write Br minus. So for hydrogen reduction potential is 0 minus reduction potential of bromine to bromide is 1.08. So here E naught cell will be negative minus 1.08 volt. Now what will be the balanced equation? At anode oxidation of bromide ion will take place. So bromide ion after losing electron will form bromine. So here we will see that in order to balance the equation we have to take 2 bromide ion, so that's why there will be 2 electrons. And at cathode there should be 2H plus ions, which will accept the 2 electrons of anode and will convert into hydrogen gas. So overall reaction is 2 electrons cancelled. So we'll get 2 Br minus plus 2H plus arrow Br2 plus H2. Now for this reaction, E cell will be equal to E naught cell minus 0.059 upon n log of concentration on the right hand side. Now in the final equation, balanced equation, there is cation on the right hand side, so it will be 1. And on the left hand side, we are having cation as well as anion. So we will take Br minus, and it is 2 times, so we will write 2 in the power concentration into. Here into will be there. Then concentration of H plus ion, and it is also 2 times, so raised to 2. So it is equal to, now instead of E naught cell, we will write minus 1.08 minus 0.059 upon n. So number of electron gain or lost during the reaction is 2. So we'll write in the denominator 2. Log of 1 upon concentration of Br minus is, so we'll drop the last 0. So we have got 0.01. So that can be written as 10 raised to minus 2 raised to 2 into concentration of H plus is, so here also we can drop the last 0. So we have 0.03. So that can be written as 3 into 10 raised to minus 2, then raised to 2. So that is equal to minus 1.08 minus 0.059 upon 2 log of, now in the denominator 10 raised to minus 2 into 2 is 10 raised to minus 4, and here also 10 raised to minus 2 into 2 is there, so that is also 10 raised to minus 4. So in the numerator it will become 10 raised to plus 8. So 10 raised to plus 8, and denominator we are having 3 ka square, so that will be 9. So it is equal to minus 1.08 minus, now 0.059 upon 2 is 0.0295 log of, now 10 raised to 8 can be written as 10 into 10 raised to 7, right? So 10 into 10 raised to 7. 10 raised to 7 we will put as it is, and 10 upon 9 will be 1.11. So that is equal to minus 1.08 minus 0.0295. Now here we will see that we are having 1.111. So log of 1.111 is 0.0457. Then multiplication is there, so we'll take plus, and log 10 raised to 7 is 7. So that is equal to minus 1.08 minus, now when you multiply this 2, means inside the bracket we are having 7.0457, and when you multiply it with 0.0295, we will get minus 0.208. And when you subtract that, now minus minus is plus, so we have to add them, so that will be 1.288, and in front of the bigger number we are having minus, so in the answer also we will have minus. So final answer is minus 1.288 volt. Now question 3.6 is, in the button cell widely used in watches and other devices, the following reaction takes place: Zn plus Ag2O plus H2O gives Zn2 plus 2Ag plus 2OH minus. Determine delta G naught and E naught of the reaction. So two things we have to find out: delta G naught and E naught. So here we will see that in order to find out delta G naught, we should know n, number of moles of electron gain or lost. So here we can see that from Zn it gets converted into Zn2 plus. So that means number of electron lost is 2. Now delta G naught is equal to minus NF E naught cell. Okay. Now E naught we don't know. That means first we have to find out E naught and then delta G naught. So what will be E naught cell? So that will be equal to reduction potential of cathode. Cathode is silver. So E naught of Ag plus slash Ag minus E naught of reduction potential of anode. So that is E naught of Zn2 plus slash Zn. Now for silver, it is 0.80 volt minus, and E naught of Zn is minus 0.76. So that will be equal to 0.80 minus minus will become plus 0.76. So that will become 1.56 volt. Now here in case of delta G naught, minus is there, N is 2. So 2 into F is the 1 Faraday, and 1 Faraday is 96500 coulomb into E naught cell is 1.56 volt. So when we multiply all the three, so our final answer will be minus 3 lakh 1080 joule, because coulomb into volt is joule, or we can write on minus 3.01 into 10 raised to 5 joule. So that is our answer. So two answers are there, one is delta G naught, one is E naught cell. Now question number 3.8 is the conductivity of 0.2 molar solution of KCl at 298 Kelvin. So conductivity is given, conductivity means K. So K is given as 0.0248 Simon per centimeter, and concentration of solution is 0.2 molar. We have to find out lambda m, molar conductivity. So lambda m equal to K into 1000 upon C. So that is equal to 0.0248 into 1000 upon 0.2. So on solving this, our final answer of lambda m will be 124, and the unit of lambda m is Simon centimeter square mole inverse. This is our answer. Now question 3.9 is the resistance of a conductivity cell containing 0.001 molar KCl solution at 298 Kelvin is 1500 ohm. So here resistance R equal to 1500 ohm, and conductivity is given as 0.146 into 10 raised to minus 3 Simon per centimeter. So we have to find out cell constant G star. So G star equal to R into K. So G star equal to RK. Now R is 1500 ohm and K is 0.146 into 10 raised to minus 3 Simon per centimeter. Now ohm and Simon are reciprocal of each other, so they will get cancelled. Now when you solve this, the answer of cell constant G star will be 0.219. So finally the unit remaining will be centimeter inverse. The value of cell constant is 0.219 centimeter inverse. That is our answer. Now question number 3.11, conductivity of 0.00241 molar, so C equal to 0.00241 molar acetic acid is having a conductivity K equal to 7.896 into 10 raised to minus 5 Simon per centimeter. Calculate its molar conductivity lambda m, and lambda m naught for acetic acid is given as 390 Simon centimeter square mole inverse, and we have to find out what is the dissociation constant of weak acid, acetic acid, that is Ka. So first of all, in order to find out lambda m, we have to use the equation lambda m equal to K into 1000 upon C. So that is equal to, now K is 7.896 into 10 raised to minus 5 into 1000 divided by C. The concentration, initial concentration, that is 0.00241. So on solving this, our value of lambda m will be 32.76 and the unit of lambda m is Simon centimeter square mole inverse. Now we have to find out alpha, degree of dissociation, because without alpha Ka cannot be found. So alpha is nothing but it is a ratio of lambda m upon lambda m naught. Now lambda m we have found just now, that is 32.76 divided by lambda m naught in the question is 390. So always alpha will be less than 1, because here always numerator will be less and denominator will be more. So that is equal to 8.4 into 10 raised to minus 2, and alpha will be unitless. Now we have to find out Ka. So direct equation of Ka is alpha square C upon 1 minus alpha. Now alpha is 8.4 into 10 raised to minus 2, the whole square, into initial concentration is 0.00241 divided by 1 minus alpha. Now alpha is 8.4 into 10 raised to minus 2, so that can be written as 0.084. So on solving this, the final answer of Ka will be 1.86 into 10 raised to minus 5. And here we will see that as alpha is unitless, so whatever is the unit of C, same will be the unit of Ka, that means molarity, so capital M. So this is our final answer, 1.86 into 10 raised to minus 5 molar. Now question number 12 is, how much charge is required for the following reductions? So three different reductions are given. We have to find out charge in each case. So number 1 is 1 mole of Al3 plus to Al. Now when we take 1 mole of Al3 plus, so we require 3 moles of electrons in order to cancel out 3 plus to form Al. So that means over here the amount of charge required is 3 Faraday. Okay, so in order to neutralize Al3 plus into Al, we require 3 Faraday of charge. So if we convert it into Coulomb, so that will be 3 into, and 1 Faraday is 96500. So 3 into 96500, so that will come out as 2,89,500 Coulomb. That is our first answer. And number 2 is to reduce 1 mole of Cu2 plus to Cu. So here you require 2 moles of electrons to form Cu. So we will see that as 2 moles of electrons are required, so charge will be 2 Faraday. So that is equal to 2 into 96500 Coulomb. So that will come out as 1,93,000. 1,93,000 Coulomb. Now number 3. 1 mole of MnO4 minus to Mn2 plus. So what is the reduction reaction of permanganate ion? A permanganate ion MnO4 minus, that is getting converted into Mn2 plus. So that is MnO4 minus getting converted into Mn2 plus. Here you will see that in order to balance the charges, we require over here 5 electrons. So MnO4 minus plus 5 electrons plus 8H plus ion. So that will form Mn2 plus plus 4H2. So on the left hand side 5 moles of electrons are there. So charge will be equal to 5 Faraday. So that will be equal to 5 into 96500 Coulomb. So that is equal to 4,82,500 coulomb. That is our answer. Now question number 13 is how much electricity in terms of Faraday is required to produce 20 gram calcium from molten calcium chloride and 40 gram aluminum from molten aluminum chloride, aluminum oxide, okay, Al2O3. So here we have to find the final answer of charge in terms of Faraday. So we don't have to convert it into coulomb. So first is calcium from calcium chloride. Now in case of molten calcium chloride, calcium is 2 plus. It is in the form of ions. Now calcium ion require 2 electrons to form neutral calcium. Okay. Now here we will see that the atomic mass of calcium is 40. So molar mass is also 40. So 1 mole calcium means 40 gram calcium. So 40 gram calcium require 2 Faraday electricity. Now here we have to produce 20 gram calcium. So 20 gram calcium require how much electricity to get produced? So it will be 20 into 2 upon 40. So that will be equal to 1 Faraday. So this is our answer. Now in number 2, from alumina, molten alumina, so it contains Al3 plus. So it will require 3 moles of electrons to form Al. Now atomic mass of aluminium is 27. So molar mass of aluminium is 27 gram. So 3 Faraday electricity is required to produce 27 gram of aluminium. Now here we have to produce 40 gram aluminium in the question. So in order to produce 40 gram aluminium should be the amount of electricity. So that is 40 into 3 upon 27. So that will come out as 4.44 Faraday. So this amount of electricity in Faraday is required. Now in question number 14, we have to find out electricity in terms of coulomb for the oxidation of 1 mole of H2O2, and in number 2, 1 mole of FeO2, Fe2O3. So first of all, for the first one, we have to convert H2O to O2. So equation will be H2O gives half O2 plus H2. Now here we will see that in this reaction, if you write down the oxidation reaction of H2, so it will give you O2 plus H plus electrons. So here we will see that only one oxygen is there. So we have to write half O2, and then 2 hydrogen are there, so 2H plus. And in order to balance 2H plus, we require 2 electrons. So that means we require 2 Faraday electricity to produce half mole O2, because we have to start with 1 mole of H2O. So 1 mole of H2O will give you half mole of O2. So in that case, in order to balance 2 hydrogen, we require 2H plus, and in order to balance 2 plus, we require 2 electrons. That means over here, the amount of electricity required is 2 Faraday. So here quantity of electricity is equal to 2 Faraday. So in terms of coulomb, we have to find out the final answer. So 2 into 96500. So that will come out as 193,000. So 1,93,000 coulomb. So that is our first answer. Now in second, 1 mole of FeO is to be converted into Fe2O3. Now in FeO, Fe is plus 2, and in Fe2O3, Fe is plus 3. So when you convert plus 2 to plus 3, that means there will be a loss of 1 electron. So 1 mole of electrons are lost. So therefore quantity of electricity will be equal to, so quantity So here quantity of electricity is equal to the 1 mole of electrons are produced, so 1 Faraday, and that is equal to 96500 Coulomb. So that is our answer. In question number 15, we have solution of nickel nitrate. So here nickel will be in the +2 oxidation state. So Ni2 plus is electrolyzed between platinum electrodes. So what will be the reduction reaction? Ni2 plus will accept 2 electrons to form Ni using a current of 5 ampere for 20 minutes. So here we will see that current I is equal to 5 ampere and time equal to 20 minutes, and 20 minutes in second will be 20 into 60. 20 minutes will be equal to 20 into 60 seconds. So that is equal to 1200 seconds. Now from I and T, first of all we have to find out Q. So Q equal to IT. So that is equal to 5 ampere. I should be always in ampere and T should be always be in seconds. So 5 into 1200. So that will be equal to 6000 second. Sorry, 6000 Coulomb. Okay. I is in ampere, time is in seconds, so Q will be in terms of Coulomb. Now here we will see that 2 moles of electron is there. So that is 2 Faraday. Faraday means 2 into 96500 Coulomb. So that means 2 into 96500 Coulomb electricity is required to produce 1 mole of nickel. 1 mole of nickel is having a molar mass of, what is the molar mass of nickel? So that is 58.7. So 58.7 gram. So from the balanced equation, 58.7 gram nickel will be produced. Now from our question, charge is 6000 coulomb. So therefore 6000 coulomb should give what mass of nickel? So what mass of nickel should be deposited on cathode? So we have to do cross multiplication. So 6000 into 58.7 divided by 2 into 96500. So our final answer in terms of gram will be 1.825 gram nickel will be deposited at cathode. Now question number 16 is 3 electrolytic cell A, B, C containing solution of zinc sulfate, silver nitrate and copper sulfate respectively are connected in series. A steady current of 1.5 ampere was passed through them until 1.45 gram of silver is deposited at the cathode of cell B. How long did current flow? Now here we have to find out time as well as what mass of copper and zinc were deposited. So in order to find T, we require Q and I. We require Q and I. Now I is already given, but Q we don't know. So that Q can be obtained from the amount of silver. So here we can see that what will be the reduction reaction for the production of silver. So that is Ag plus electrons gives Ag. Now here you can see that 1 mole of electron is there. So that means 96500 Coulomb is there. So from the balanced equation, 96500 Coulomb electricity is 1 mole of silver. That means 108 gram, which is the atomic mass of silver. So in order to obtain 1.45 gram, what charge should be passed? What amount of charge should be passed? So we have to do cross multiplication. So 1.45 into 96500 upon 108. So that will come out as 1295.6 Coulomb. Now this is nothing but it is Q. So Q equal to IT. So that means T equal to Q upon I. So from this we can obtain time. So Q should be in Coulomb. So that is 1295.6. and in the denominator I should be in ampere. So current given in the question is 1.5 ampere. So when you divide it by 1.5, you will get 863.7 seconds. So 863.7 seconds, that is our first answer. Now we have to find out what mass of copper and zinc were deposited. So here we will see that we have to write on the reduction reaction. So Cu2 plus 2 electrons give Cu, and for zinc it will be Zn2 plus 2 electrons give Zn. Now here we will see that in order to produce 1 mole of copper, 2 moles of electron is required. So we require 2 into 96500 coulomb. Then it will produce 1 mole of copper, and atomic mass of copper is 63.5. So 63.5 gram of copper is produced. Now here you can see that same current is passed through silver also. So for silver you got 1295.6 coulomb. So that means same charge, that is 1295.6 coulomb we have passed in all the three cells. So that means here also same current is passed. So what amount of copper should be produced? So that is, so when you do cross multiplication, we are having 1295.6 into 63.5 divided by 2 into 96500. So mass of copper deposited will be 0.426 gram copper. So this is our second answer, 0.426 gram copper. Now for zinc also, 2 moles of electrons are required to produce 1 mole zinc. That means 2 into 96500 coulomb. So that will produce 1 mole of zinc, and 1 mole of zinc is molar mass as 65 gram. 65 gram zinc is produced. So therefore here also same amount of charge is passed, that means 1295.6 coulomb. So when you are passing this amount of charge, what amount of zinc should be produced? So when you do cross multiplication, so on doing cross multiplication, we, we will get 1295.6 multiplied by 65 divided by 2 into 96500. So that will be equal to 0.438 gram. So this is the amount of zinc that is produced. Now question 18 is predict the products of electrolysis in each of the following. So in that, number 1 is an aqueous solution of silver nitrate with silver electrodes. Now if active electrodes are there at anode, then they will participate in the reaction at anode. So at anode, silver electrode will undergo oxidation to form Ag+, and at cathode, the silver ion of silver nitrate solution will reach at cathode and will accept the electron of anode to form silver. So that means here only one product is obtained at cathode, and that is silver. Now along with silver, HNO3 will also be produced. So here we will see that as silver ion of the solution reaches cathode to form silver, NO3 minus ion will remain in the solution, and that NO3 minus ion will react with H plus ion of the ionized water to form HNO3. So our products over here is silver and HNO3. Now number 2, an aqueous solution of silver nitrate with platinum electrodes. Now if anode is made up of platinum, so in that case water will undergo oxidation at anode. So water will undergo oxidation at anode to form oxygen gas. So water will form oxygen gas along with H plus ion and electron. So here we will see that only one oxygen is there in water, so we'll write half O2 and thereafter 2H plus and 2 electrons. And at cathode, reduction of silver will take place. The silver ion of the solution will accept electron to form silver at cathode. So our products will be, at anode we are getting oxygen gas. At cathode we get silver. Now at anode one more ion is there, H plus ion. That H plus ion is going to react with NO3 minus of AgNO3 to form HNO3. Here you will get oxygen as well as silver as well as HNO3. In the first one, at anode, no H plus ion is formed. That's why only silver will be the product. HNO3 will not be there because here H plus ion is not formed. So only silver is there. While in case of second, oxygen, silver and HNO3 are produced. Now in the third one, we are having dilute sulfuric acid solution with platinum electrodes. Now if the electrode is platinum, it is not going to participate in anode and cathode. So at anode as well as cathode, only water will undergo oxidation and water will undergo reduction, because here the solution is dilute solution of sulfuric acid. So in that case sulfuric acid is very less in amount, so only water will undergo oxidation and water will undergo reduction. So at anode water will undergo oxidation to form oxygen gas. So we'll write half O2 plus 2H plus 2 electrons, and at cathode water will undergo reduction. So H2O will give you, now here you have to take two, here we have 2 electrons, okay. So in order to take 2 moles of electrons, we must have 2 moles of H2O. So in that case we will see that out of the 4 hydrogen, 2 hydrogen will form H2 and remaining 2 hydrogen and 2 oxygen will form 2 times OH minus. So that means electrolysis of dilute H2SO4 is nothing but it is electrolysis of water itself. So overall reaction will be 2 electrons cancelled. Now 2H2O and 1H2O will be 3H2O. So 3H2O will give you half O2 plus H2, and here 2H plus and 2OH minus will together form 2H2. Now from both the sides you can remove 2H2O. So when you remove 2H2O from both the sides, finally we are getting H2O gives half O2 plus H2. That means products are oxygen and hydrogen. Now fourth is remaining. So let us discuss the fourth. So in fourth number, an aqueous solution of cupric chloride with platinum electrodes. So as the electrodes are made up of platinum, they will not undergo any reaction. So at on anode, now cupric chloride CuCl2 is having 2 ions. One Cu2 plus ion, another is Cl minus ions. Now at anode oxidation takes place. So chloride ion will undergo oxidation at anode. So at anode, oxidation of chloride ions, that means 2Cl minus is there, so they will lose 2 electrons, and both the Cl atoms will convert into Cl2 gas. The chlorine gas will be formed, and at cathode, reduction of copper ion will take place. So copper ion, that is CO2 plus, will reach at cathode and will accept these 2 electrons which are lost by anode, which are given by anode. So after accepting electrons, it will form copper. So that means over here products will be, at anode we have got chlorine gas, and at cathode we get copper metal. So chlorine gas and copper metal are the products. So here we have finished the exercise of chapter number 3.